Well, hello everybody. While Neek
Welcome. Welcome.
is getting the last minute set up, so we're running a little late today. We was gonna start at 7:15, but we're in the early phases. We'll get better. Don't worry about that.
Things happen.
Well, these are live, so we gotta get here. And most of the time I be forgetting. She called me, and I'm like, oh.
Text her first.
You gotta be there.
I forgot. I'm like, let me go ahead and text her because
Yeah, but let me go ahead and reintroduce myself. My name is Jess.
You heard, idiot.
My name is Jess, the nail tech.
Okay.
Hit you. You can follow me on official_Jess. That's JESS nails. Official_Jess nails.
Do it from again.
That's her nails. I do those. I be. Girl,
I don't know.
why did you have to?
That's why I went like that.
She broke a nail. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
But it's broke off smooth.
Yeah,
Can't even tell.
it's true. That thing look like it's supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how they've been breaking lately. I ain't mad at it.
Well, they don't. Okay, now hold on. I gotta make this very clear. She break her nails. I have strengthened them. I have done everything I can possible. This girl has found creative and imaginative ways to break nails that I still could not tell you how it happens. She the only person that I deal with that breaks nails on a consistent basis. I have people that do extendos and do not break nails.
She got a donk. She got a donk. She got a donk. She got a donk.
Breaking your nails on your butt is unacceptable. That's all I can say. You can't be bouncing off nails, pulling up pants.
All I know is that my ass gonna be clean one way or another.
Anywho, but you can follow me on Instagram at official_Jess Nails. You can follow me on Facebook at official Jess Nails, and you are more than welcome to look at my personal profile, Jessica Chapin, on Facebook, but because it's public. But don't add me as a friend. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not gonna respond. I'm not gonna add you as a friend back. You can follow, but I'm not. So don't waste your time. Official_Jess Nails Instagram. If you live in the Georgia, Atlanta, Marietta area, please DM to book. I do not have a website because I control my own schedule. Outside of that, though, that's me. Like I said, let me reintroduce my name. My name is
Neat.
you.
And I know I was late and I did it on purpose.
I did the
Anyhow,
nectar.
Emmy. It is me, Neek. I am the owner of this here podcast. Also, Enchanted Goddess LLC, skin and pain products at enchantedgoddessllc.com. Also on Instagram at enchanted_goddess LLC. The podcast one is what is the podcast? Naked_ the bear all _ podcast. That's what it is on IG. And the website, you guys should be on it because it's on the website.
Naked.
But naked TBA
podcast.
podcast.com.
Okay, go ahead.
Today we are going to be talking about mindset and childhood trauma. So we're not going to be as silly today.
Yeah.
And we are going to start with my little sugar food over here.
So, this is crazy enough. So I have to give y'all like some steps as to what happened. So this weekend I went home to Alabama. Me and my boyfriend and our 2 dogs. On the road, Toolie-hoo went home. I live in central Alabama, so Birmingham. I live in the outer city of Birmingham. Some people know. It's called Penson. At the end of the day, if you don't, I don't care. If you do, that's great. I grew up in the city, but also grew up on the outskirts. I just have to say that because everybody think that Alabama apparently don't have cities. They do.
It's just one big place to go.
They,
Drive in, drive out.
is to be honest, is how Atlanta has subcategories of cities. That's Birmingham. It's not as big. At the end of the day, it's not as big and it's not as developed. So there's not. When I say as developed, I mean like the freeways aren't as big. That doesn't mean like we don't have freeways. Like we go up to 4 lanes, 8 lanes. Like we have that. We have plenty of malls. We have plenty of places to go to. We just don't have as much development as like how Atlanta has so much to offer. We just don't have the exact same. They're building it up, but it's not the same. So, anyways, I just have to put it out there. I'm not from the country. I'm really from the city. So, anyway.
She's a city girl.
But a little. I'm not even gonna claim that all the way.
Right. That's what it look like when it.
I'm still country, like in root mind, but like, cause I grew up around country people, but
Definitely country.
genuinely, I wasn't like. I went in the back hills of Alabama talking about you sure do look pretty. Like I just wasn't doing it.
I know what you mean though.
Yeah, so I have to give this. I feel like I have to give this background. Like it's kind of indebted to me now. But anyways, okay. So anyways, me, boyfriend, 2 dogs. Off to Alabama. While I was there, my mom and dad. It was a short trip. Saturday to Sunday. Sunday we went over to my aunt's house. Now I consider my aunt, which is my mom's sister, like sister to me. And her husband, I consider a brother to me. But while we were there, we got into talking about how rough I am with my mom, my brother, and my dad. And y'all, I'm gonna be honest, I can't really speak too in depth about my childhood. And the reason why is because legitimately, I'm 30 years old. I'll be 31 in October. Made it this long.
You made it.
I'm
still 28.
I have I'm 25 in heart. Like if you ask, I'm 25. But technically, on God's green earth, I've made 31, almost 31 cycles. So,
31.
Almost 31 cycles. But I don't know if it's because of age. I don't know if it's because I've matured to a certain amount. I don't know if I'm hitting that next phase of my life. But I used to be able to talk about my childhood trauma like it was nothing. I'd be like, oh yeah. Now I can tell you some of it. I'd be like, oh yeah, my dad's side was racist. Like I have a white daddy. And my mom is mixed. She's mixed with white and black. But at the time, my mom was strong black, okay?
Right,
You couldn't tell her nothing else. She was black in this shirt. My mom is light as me, but she was black in this shirt, okay? But that was in the story because we didn't know her dad, so that's another story. But I can say it very easily. I grew up in a real weird situation. My dad's side is white, and they're racist. Like, legitimately. I grew up with my granny giving the hard ER, okay? Like, legitimately. And we got treated differently from our white cousins. But then if you go over to the black side, we got treated differently from our black cousins. So I also have racism on the black side too. It wasn't as like in your face. Like it wasn't like you lightheaded a little bit. You know?
Like I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they wasn't like that. But you know, when you got older, black folks they slick. I mean, that's the best way I can put it. They be undercover and you be thinking, oh, they be laughing in your face, but really they be talking about you. And I experienced that from, like, when I got older and I started realizing, I'm like, these motherfuckers.
Laughing and talking in your face and texting on the phone talking about you.
Exactly. But essentially, I would say, like, my younger years, up to about middle school, I actually don't have any complaints. It was really good. I didn't have any complaints from my mom's side. I didn't have complaints from my dad's side. I did. My father's side was his family tried to cause family issues for us. So there was a lot of trauma behind that. But like inside the household, I didn't have that. Like we was bonded. And then, you know, I started becoming this teenager. And my dad didn't know how to take like his little girl was growing up. So my dad was really harsh with his words. I used to really be able to go into detail. I cannot go into detail. He used to be really harsh with his words, so that kind of separated our bond. And then I hit about 15, and my mother, God, my mom has said, "Oh, sorry."
I ain't got tissue here.
It's okay.
Take a minute.
My mom has said more harsh things to me than a stranger on the street. Like, legitimately. And you see these tears, I ain't even talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But you still feel it.
but the thing of it is, for the absolute longest, I could tell you. I believe my mama said this. My mama did this, that. My mama legitimately has given me 3 breakdowns in my adolescent. Huh?
I'm going to get tissue. I said you were running to it.
Oh, okay, yeah. My mom literally, I had to push it back, so okay. I'm gonna keep talking while she's going, but let me put my glasses on so I can see.
Wait.
Oh my Lord. Y'all don't even worry about what she's doing. Just know it's being done. But my mom, she just lost it when it came to me and her relationship. And I mean that in the aspects of, like, she just did some just stuff you don't do when it comes to your daughter. Like, my mom kind of helped stem the attitude and the loathing and the hate. She kind of messed me up. I was looking for what I thought would be love, because I didn't get that from my family. Like, my mom was like a tyrant in the house. But the only person she focused on was me, because I have an older brother. And essentially, at some point, the dynamics of my brother being a brother to me completely changed. And instead of him being a brother, he was just on my mom's side, because that means she didn't focus on him. Mm-hmm. So I would have my mom and my brother tag teaming me, essentially. And my dad was an alcoholic. He was a functional alcoholic. So my dad always worked his whole life. He know when you work, you don't do nothing. When you get home, you relax. Mm-hmm. But he was an alcoholic, so when he got home, he was drinking, to numb his childhood trauma, essentially, and what he's had to go through having a family. And so my mom would argue with me at 2 o'clock in the morning, and finally my dad would get up and be like, "Leave her alone." I'm not going to disclose any names right now, but,
right.
Be like, "Leave her alone. Let the child go to bed." That's what I dealt with for nights, weeks, like on end. I can tell you a specific situation where I did a lot of after school activities. Like, I was real heavy in school just because, honestly, I like doing it. It wasn't even from my home life. I just really like doing it. Band, choir, dance line, like I did I was in everything. So, I remember I was super tired. Also, my mom had been keeping me up to 2 o'clock in the morning, arguing with me. And got home, it was dark outside. And it was daylight savings time. Mm-hmm. So, around 5 o'clock it's dark. So, it's around 5 o'clock, it's dark. I'm tired. I come in, I drop my stuff on the floor, and I go straight to my room. I'm laying down like I need to nap. Right. My mom was in the living room sitting there watching TV. Since I did not say hey to her when I walked past, my mom argued with me till 3 o'clock in the morning that night. Because I was spoiled and inconsiderate, and who the hell do I think I am, and everything else that go along with it. And that pushed me. Like, it got to the point to where I literally could not stay in the house. Like, I ended up having to move out with my grandma when I was like 19 years old. Because I literally could not function in the house with my mom, because she was constantly, every day, we arguing. And it got to the point where I was going to hit her. Like, I knew I was going to hit her. I was like, one day she going to come in here and she going to fuck with me, and I'm going to hit her. Like, and I'm one of those people, like, I'm not an attacker. I will defend myself, but I'm not going to attack.
You're not the aggressor ever.
I never felt the need to handle stuff was putting my hands on somebody. Like, I've never felt that. I didn't care what the situation was. But my mom, and it's my mom.
Right.
She's pushing me to the point where I'm about to knock this bitch out. Like, you got me fucked up. Like, why do you keep constantly fucking with me, essentially? And it got to that point where I was like, I gotta go stay with my grandma. So I stayed with my grandma for, I think 4 or 5 months. Tried moving back into the house. Another situation happened. I said, fuck this, I'm done. Within the next couple of months.
The speaker.
Oh, I was like, who's talking? Within the next couple of months, I was moving out to my first apartment with my boyfriend. Now that's its own bullshit. So that created another set of trauma for me. But even me being gone, my mom would call me on a consistent basis to tell me I was a shitty daughter. Like, you're terrible. You hurt me. How could you do this to me? How could you be this way? You're selfish. Like, that's what
Sounds like it's the other way around.
Exactly. My mom was on there. She was like, poke the bear. Poke the bear. They need to stop. You was an Ackworth.
Right. And they will pull up on you with the quickness.
But my mom just likes to poke the bear. And when you lash out on her, then she's the victim. Oh, she said this to me. She said this to me, but she would never say, well, what did you do? What did you do to make her lash out? Because I wasn't the person to lash out on somebody. So essentially one day I was in my early 20s, I think 22, 23, I went to slap off on my mom. Like, I'm talking about, I cussed her out like a stranger. Completely. I was like, I'm tired of this. Who the fuck are you to keep calling my phone to tell me I'm a horrible fucking daughter? Do I call you and tell you a horrible fucking mom? How you completely destroyed my adolescent years because you rapping and raging and doing all this stuff? Like, I went off. Every cuss word I could think of, every hurt I could think of came out. And I told her, don't fucking call my phone no more. I don't want shit else to do with you. Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't ask how the fuck I'm doing. Don't worry about what the fuck I'm... Like, leave me the fuck alone. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, leave me alone. You already talked to the family about me. Made me look like I'm just this crazy motherfucker just roaming the fucking streets. You run your mouth constantly about me. You ain't got nothing nice to say. I don't want you in my life. I don't know if maybe that was her, like, click. But after that, the narrative did start to change. Now, did it take years? I'm 30. And we just got on, like, real... I haven't argued with my mom a very long time. When I say very long time, probably a year or so. But it took a lot. And going back home and talking to my aunt, to full circle this, going back home and talking to my aunt and uncle, like, I'm sitting there and I'm talking about certain situations to my uncle, because my uncle has actually been around in my life since I was pretty much when a lot of this stuff started happening to me. He was kind of like a friend of the family of my aunts, but they weren't like officially together, but he's been around that long. So he knew certain things, but he didn't know. And then, like, we're getting into this conversation and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna try to do this without tearing up, so please excuse me. I told him how one time it was me, my mom, and my brother. I'm gonna do it quick. That helped. It's me, my mom, and my brother. We're in the kitchen. My mom was pissed off with me, and my brother was siding with her. My brother jumped on me. Full-fledged. I'm just balled up because I can't, my brother's a football player. Like, what was my little 150-pound soaking wet ass gonna do?
Right.
So I'm just balled up, just letting it happen. And literally 5-10 minutes, this is happening. And my mama's sitting there with some lemonade. Didn't raise a finger. And when I told my uncle this, he was like, I see why you have problems with your brother. And I was like, who, that's just a little bit of it. You know. Oh, Jesus, you stop it. See, I can't talk about it. He was like, I see where you're at, because I snap at my brother like quick. We'd be good. We'll be laughing and joking. He'll say one thing, and I will turn very quickly. I don't turn like aggressive, like yelling, but I'm like, that nice goes to, who the fuck do you think you're talking to?
Right.
Real quick. Or that's the reason why I have issues with you, because it's the bullshit you pull. I flip. And when it comes to my mom, I just talk to her. I've gotten better with not being so harsh with her since we have came a long way. But I'm not going to lie, I will easily tell my mom off. She push a button she don't need to push. I give her the warning. Hey, you need to chill. You need to leave me the hell alone. She keep pushing it, I'm going off. And I only need one push. You got one warning, and then you got me going off. That's the end of it. Because of what I went through. So I'm realizing now, I could talk about this because one, you're never gonna forget. You don't forget the trauma that you went through. But I pushed down the feelings, because you want to leave me 5-star. Oh, stop it. Yeah, of course. Anyways. Sorry. Someone I used to work with asking for a favor. Completely. I love them. But it made it to where essentially I pushed down all the feelings I had. Because if I would have held on to my feelings, I could not have a relationship with none of them. Like, I think the feelings for my dad wasn't as strong because my dad didn't directly, he did a few things when I was like younger, but it wasn't like long lasting. But my dad, he didn't stop my mom. Mm-hmm. He would, but he wouldn't. So I guess you could say my hate didn't run as deep. But for like my mom and my brother, especially my mom, the hate that I had for them ran very, very deep. And in order for me to even have a conversation, have a whatever, I just had to push those feelings. To me, I thought they was just gone. I was like, oh shit.
No, baby. They buried, but they ain't gone.
Exactly, because I could talk about it like I was talking about a day at work. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I did this. And people be having their mouth open like, oh my God. And I'm like, shit, it was a pass.
I remember.
Well, we can't do nothing about it. But lately, I'm telling you, I'm talking about boo-hoo, big baby bawling tears over the little stuff. This ain't even the big stuff. This is the little minute stuff. And I can barely get through just talking about a small instance. I'm not even talking about what led up to it. I'm not talking about how I felt afterwards. Just a small bit. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it's because of maturity. I don't know. I am trying to get my life together. I ain't gonna lie that, building a better bond with God and things like that. Like, I'm doing a lot of things that is going to enhance me in the future. And I don't know if now it's kind of like, hey, bitch.
Yeah, because how are you going to get there if you still got things that you haven't dealt with? If you still haven't got things that you completely healed from, you're not going to be able to get to where you're going until you heal from that. And that requires you digging up the shit you don't want to dig up.
That part. But my uncle, he was like, you probably need to see somebody. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, I think I got some repressed emotion.
A little bit.
Just a little bit of repressed emotion down there. Mm-hmm. Because it just, people, think, and I was the same way. If I don't talk about it, or if I don't let it really affect me, then I've dealt with it. But to be honest, the type of childhood trauma I have, and I kind of get hit on both sides. I feel how I felt when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
When, like, the situation, my brother jumping on me. I feel that. But then I feel the 30-year-old side of it, where now we're good. Like, why couldn't you love me?
Yeah.
Why couldn't you love me back then when I really needed you? So it's kind of like I'm getting hit from both sides, and I'm like, dang, what did I do but, grow up? Oh, okay. What did I do outside of just being a teenager and just trying to grow up and trying to figure out like life? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you sit here and now thinking about it, I'm really like, dang, I really know to get a therapist. I really do need to talk to someone because I did not deal with these. And it's not even the fact that I want to, it's not the fact that I want to go to my brother or I want to go to my mom and be like, you hurt me. Fucking fix it. Like, I don't want to do that. I just want to deal with these emotions that are so strong. Because I can tell you, if I had a child right now, oh my God, I would be so concerned with what happened to me that I don't want to put this on them, that I would end up fucking up my child just simply due to the fact that I didn't deal with this emotion. I never dealt with it. So I'm just in that stage in life where it's like I said, it's funny because you said childhood trauma, and I was like, shit, that's easy.
Mm-hmm. And then
I can talk for days.
And then
I get hit with the rope-a-dope. I go home and visit family, and here I am crying like a whole baby in these streets. You should have saw me coming back from Alabama here. I am like bawling tears trying to drive. And Joshua was just like, just get it out. I'm like, I don't know.
Baby, when the tears come, they don't even want to stop.
Exactly. And I'm like, I've never cried this hard. I've never went through something this freaking emotional to where I'm like, I have no choice but to genuinely deal with it. Because it is a part of my life. It is a part of what I went through. And now I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm getting hit with the butterfly. The 1, 2, 3. The lemon pepper steppers. You know what I'm saying?
Horde.
Exactly. So, I mean, I can say in a general aspect, everything that I did go through made me stronger. Like, 100% made me stronger. Like, I've went through a lot of stuff, and I can definitely say I've always rose above it. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not about how many times you fall, but it's, you know, you getting up.
You get up.
And every time I got knocked off, kicked off, beat down, you know, I've always gotten back up. So those life situations did make me stronger. But I can tell you that I'm emotionally weak in certain situations because I did not take the time to really like understand my personal feelings and personal like emotions that I had to my childhood trauma. Because I can tell you from like 15 to about 23, there's a lot of stuff I don't remember. And it's genuinely because I blocked out a lot of stuff because I wanted to have a relationship with my family. Mm-hmm. And the only way I could do that was what I thought was dealing with it. I just was like, shoot, screen down, screen down, screen down, screen down. Let me put this screen really hurts. Let me definitely put that one down.
Lock that one. Oh, board that bitch up. Board it up. Board it up.
Like, I'm getting ready, like I'm hammering them all down. And, you know, like I said, I don't know because I'm getting older. I think it also has something to do with me dealing with my grandma dying. Ooh, I'm going to try to get through this without crying. Like, this is what I always said. I've gotten used to it. But my grandma died, you know, 3 years ago, to 2019. And my grandma was my protector through all this. Like, my grandma, at a certain age, became my mom. That's the reason why my aunt really was like my sister. Mm-hmm. And when she died back in 2019, you know, I'm like, oh God, I didn't go home to Alabama for a whole year. My parents were so hurt because it was like, you got to come home sometime. And I'm like, there's nothing to come home to. Right. You know, exactly. Like, my grandma's gone. Why would I do that? But, you know, fast forward, I never saw where, like, you know how they do the viewing or the whatever they call it, where they talk over the person being dead and you come and talk. And then they go and put them in the grass or ground. I could not go to the gravesite. Couldn't do it. I was like, I've already seen my grandma in the box. Right. I can't see her no further. Can't put my grandma in the ground because I'm going with her. So, Jesus. Sorry, I hate crying. So it's 3 years later, and I finally asked, like a month ago. I was like, "Hey, where's Grandma buried?" And I was with my mom, so my mom's like, "She's buried right over there," because we was driving.
Mm-hmm.
"She's buried right over there," and I was like, "Yo, ask one question, simple question. I don't need no more." She's like, "She's buried over there, and yeah, it's real nice." And then, shut up.
Right.
I
just wanted to know.
I just want to know where is her general location. That's all I'm asking for. And the more time goes on, I really do want to go to her actual gravesite. And I don't know if because dealing with that emotion is bringing up all the other stuff that I should have been dealt with. But because I'm a strong, mixed, independent, ain't nobody gonna hold me down.
Right. Oh, let's thug out here.
I'm a whole thug in these streets. OG, gang, blind.
Gang.
I wasn't gonna deal with it. But now I'm at that point where, all right, I'm gonna deal with it. I'm going to accept. Like, I know Grandma gone, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna accept the feelings that go with she's gone. Ooh. And I think that's also what's bringing up, well, if you're going to deal with one, you're going to deal with all. You know? Like, this ain't going to be, you just dealing with one thing, you think you just going to put down the mouth.
You about to get you.
You about to get
bang, 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 bang. Oh, what? Bang, bang, bang. Back down.
How's that going to make go bang, bang? So that's the reason why, like, this was a good thing to talk about, of course, you know, because I think, you know, like you said, a lot of people just get numb to it. Mm-hmm. And then you find out as you get older, which I didn't know till I got here. As you get older and you mature more and you're dealing with certain things in your life, damn, I never dealt with what I dealt with back then. And I see where it's affecting me, where I'm more moody, I'm more irritable. Like, I'm ready to knock someone out, essentially. And I'm not an attacker, I'm a defender. Essentially, come at me, bro. Yeah. But don't really, because I don't want to deal with it. Like,
leave me alone.
Yeah, leave me alone. But, like, we can be friends. Like,
right.
Don't get me wrong. I will get down if necessary. But I just don't want to do that. And that's kind of how my feelings are right now. They're like, bruh, we got time today. And I'm like, hold up, but can we do this tomorrow?
Right, I'm not ready.
I wasn't prepared.
Right.
I thought,
this is not what we're supposed to be doing.
Can I put my Vaseline? Like,
right. I ain't got no Vaseline. I got no hair ties.
I left that at home today. Like, I thought we was doing something different. But I feel like me and sucker punched by my emotions. So I can definitely say, like I said, when it comes to childhood trauma, I have went through a lot. Like I said, if I actually could talk about it, like really, really talk about it without literally being like boohoo in tears, I would be like, so let's talk about Jessica's trauma.
This is going to be an extended version.
Yes, for sure. But I know for me personally, I am going to reach out to a therapist. And it's just because, like I said, I want to deal with my trauma. I don't really care if anybody else ever understands, ever apologizes, ever comes back and say, Jessica, I did you wrong. I personally just want to be okay. I don't care for anybody else's satisfaction. I just want the satisfaction that I don't have any kids now, but when I do have kids, I can raise them without the trauma of my mama did this, my mama did that, my brother did this, my dad wasn't, there for me in this way. Like, I want to be able to raise them in an aspect of love, which I felt like I didn't get for what I feel like was the most pivotal time in my life. Like, a young adult, teenage years, I didn't have that. And I ran and did a lot of things that I shouldn't have done because I was looking for it. So, I mean, this is definitely going to have to be a couple of parters.
Yes.
This ain't like childhood trauma, just end all, see all.
Yeah, no.
Because like I said, I have two parts of childhood trauma. I have family,
and life.
Family, childhood trauma. I have life, that was still around my childhood trauma. And then I have my mom's side and my dad's side family trauma. So I have a lot. This is, and I've only been able to barely tell you about 2 situations.
Well, we're definitely gonna have a lot of tissue here.
Well, hopefully,
next time.
hopefully I can go see a therapist, and what's gonna happen is they're gonna be like, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus.
You're healed.
You're healed in the name of the Lord.
Jesus.
And then I could come back and I'd be like, so y'all, since I have now had a newfound
In a week.
this might be a couple of month process. I told y'all
It's
from
gonna
A
be
to B,
longer
I
than
had a
that.
lot.
It's gonna be longer than that, baby.
But that was my childhood trauma, essentially. Well, that was a very, very small, minuscule part of my childhood trauma. Technically, my trauma did not stop until. Ooh, I say childhood trauma, but my personal
Trauma.
life trauma did not stop until I was about 28. Like I said, I'm 30 now. Be 31. So I just recently, in the past 2 years, I wouldn't say completely like trauma free, but the extent of mentally or emotionally like scarring me, you know, I feel like I'm doing something. I've hit the top, you know. I've hit the top. And don't get me wrong, I don't try to put my childhood trauma above someone else's. It's just I feel like my trauma suits me, if that makes sense. It's who made me. Like, it hurts me. Someone could have went through the same thing I went through, and they may not even have the same feelings I do about it. You know what I'm saying? But it was me to hold. It was me to embody. And, you know, there's hundreds of people out here that have plenty of childhood trauma that they've never dealt with.
Yeah.
And then when you start when your body starts realizing I need to deal with this, most of them are in the cornerstone of their life. They've got children, they're married, or even if they're not married, they may have some children, or they may just be going through something financial, work-related, career. And you got your emotions talking about, yeah, bro, I'm here. Let's do this. But I mean, I'm not talking, because we still got through Neek's childhood trauma. I don't know how far she gonna go, but I know for me personally, I can't talk about it no more, because I'm gonna be in here crying. And I'm a thug.
I'm a thug too. But
I'm a teddy bear, but I'm a thug. I know me. Me know me better than me. But that's mine. That's my personal opinion. I'm going to drink a little bit more wine, and I'm going to pass it on over to Neek. And she's going to go into her versions of, you know, her childhood trauma, because, like I said, it affects everybody. Everybody's different. Everybody goes through something. She might be a little bit more descriptive than I was, because I'm telling you right now, bawling, tears, me. Okay, go. I'm done.
Yeah, I was one of those people. I blocked out. It's so much in my childhood that I can't even remember. Just because I put a mental block up.
Yeah.
But from what I can remember, we grew up with an amazing mom. Mother was always there for us. That was our rock. She did everything for us. The father, her sperm donor, he was there when he was able to be there. He had a whole nother family, whole nother life that my mother didn't even know about. When he was there, we had moments of good times, but those don't stick out as much as the bad. The stuff I remember is my mother screaming from him beating her, him yelling at her all the time. She couldn't do nothing right. And my mother is brown skinned. My mother she like a caramel, like a dark caramel. My mother ain't nowhere near black, but he would call her Blackie. That was his nickname for her. He would call her Blackie because he was super, super, super light.
Was he white? Or mixed?
He was just really light. We was mixed with Indian. My grandmother was Indian.
Oh, okay. Damn light skins.
Right. And he had Jerry curls, y'all.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, but
And
it was a different time.
Yeah. So he drunk a lot, and he did drugs. He did crack. Um,
Not the crack.
yeah, the crack.
Y'all watch
The
Snowfall?
rat crack.
Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead.
so he did do crack, and he did that a lot, and he was just horrible to my mother. I mean, and my mother ain't no bitch. First of all, my mother ain't no bitch. She ain't no whole. She don't take people shit. She she fight back. She's a fighter. That's just who she is. But she felt she needed to deal with it and take it for us. So we will listen to her again. It was one time.
If you can. If you can't, if you gotta tap out. It's okay.
I don't even remember how old we were, but I know we were little. And we were sitting on the steps and we were listening to him beat my mother, and then we didn't hear anything. And then he left. What I remember is seeing blood all on the wall. Seeing blood all on the wall, and seeing her laying in the tub. He had hit her with an E&J bottle. Everybody know how an Irk and Jerk bottle is. How hard that motherfucker is.
That's beer glass.
Yeah. And he knocked out a few of her teeth. We didn't know that she was still alive. We ain't know she was alive, and that was all I remember, was sitting there crying with my brother. And then I don't know what happened. After that, it's like that block. We hit that block. I mean, and then it's times after that, when he would call himself being there and trying to punish us for stuff we did, he would get a shoe and whoop us with shoes. Just take the shoe and just be hitting us with the shoe. That was his whipping. You a whole ass man.
Hitting somebody with a shoe. And back then they made shoes.
Right. And so it was just every time he was around, it was rare that it was good stuff. We had good times, he'll come back with gifts and this and that. But it was just, I don't know what it was. It was just something in me that was off. And I was a daddy's girl. Mm-hmm. His nickname for me was Applehead, because
gotta be hip. Oh, never mind. You just
that was his.
He was smart
right,
apple tree.
Right. So that was his nickname for him, and I love my father. But, it just got to a point to where, things will be weird. And I always had a good intuition. It's just my ass never listened to it. And I still took me for, 40 years, 39 years to even listen to it. But I've always had a good intuition. It was just something off, and I always feel awkward. So when I got to a certain age, when you become a teenager, you lock your door. How we get in our moods, we lock our doors and stuff like that. And then I don't like sleeping with clothes on. I don't like clothes. So of course I gotta close my door. Got a little brother. So I would close my door. He try to come in, can't get in, so he bang on the door, and he'll be when he's saying bye or whatever, he'll kiss me, but he'll always try to kiss me on the mouth, and I'll turn. It's why you being weird?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he would tell my mother he didn't think that I liked him, and no, I don't like you being weird, dude. I'm 13 years old. I mean, how was I at that time? I was 10 or something. However old I was, I'm too big for you to be kissing in the fucking mouth. No.
Yeah.
And so one day he came over to our house, and I didn't even know that him and my mother was arguing, but that wasn't nothing new. They always argue because, he's a dickhead. And I didn't know that she said that I couldn't go with him. So he waited till she went in the bathroom or something like that. And he Applehead, you want to go ride with me? I'm going to let you drive. And I'm like, yeah. He was like, well, come on, put your clothes on. Let's go. So we leave out. I don't even know what time it was. I know it was nighttime. We leave out. We riding around. He has a 40, big ass 40 ounce. And he making all these stops to all his friends, and I'm looking like, nigga, we supposed to be driving. Like, but it's like, I just want to drive and go home. It's getting late. I'm sleeping. So we driving all over Cleveland, all over the world. So he making all these stops, and then he doing his little twitch thing. When he was high, it's a twitch that he had.
Oh,
that he
the
did.
little.
No, it's a little twitch that he would do with his mouth.
Oh, okay.
So you've been smoking too. So at that point, I'm like, okay, well, I'm tired. I'm ready to go. And he like, all right, well, I'm going to show you this house that I got. I'm redoing for your mom because he did construction. I'm gonna show you this house that I'm gonna give you, you know, your mom and you and your brother. And I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, when we leave there, I'll let you drive. So we get to the house, look at the house, and I'm like, okay, it had this little fireplace. And it was like painted red. My mama loved red. So I'm like, oh, she'll love this. So it was a speaker on there because again they was working in the house, so they played the music. So he had locked the door and he's turning on the music, and I'm like, okay, what the fuck is you doing all this for? But I ain't think nothing of it. It's my father.
Yeah. So
he's like, well, let me show you the upstairs. So we go upstairs, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know, I see I could have my own room, you know, whatever. And so then after that, it's the attic. Attic dark as fuck. I'm not, the devil is a lie.
Exactly.
Absolutely
demons are up there.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I rebuke thee. And so he opened the attic door and he was like, well, go. He was like, well, look. I'm like, I look and I'm like, it's dark. And as soon as I went to turn, he kissed me. And again, I'm like, you know, I fought him off. I pushed him. And I finally pushed him, and I ran down the steps. I didn't run. I leaped. And it was a lot of steps. I was leaping.
You was just trying
I was leaping down the steps. And he put double locks on the door. So by the time I got to that last lock, he was there. And he was pushing the door closed. And he threw me back up the steps, and he raped me. He told me that he wasn't my father. That he had killed my mama, he had killed me, like just, like he just turned into a whole nother person. Like his eyes were just, they were just gone, like they were just dead. It was like nothing in them. And so I truly thought I was gonna die. I truly thought I was gonna die. So I did whatever I needed to do to survive, because I'm not about to die here. Yeah. So I said whatever he wanted me to say, did whatever he wanted me to do. I didn't cry anymore, anything. I just
accepted it.
Yeah, I disappeared. So we're driving home and he's trying to talk to me, and I'm not there.
Yeah,
I'm not there.
Spaced out.
I'm not there. So he's like, well, you want to drive? No, I'm good. So we get back to the house, and my mama had already called the police. She flipping out. Yeah. She's outside, like, and so when I finally get home, she goes flying down the steps to him. Mm-hmm. You know, because I told you not to take my child. Like, what did you take her? Did you take her to some crack house? You know, just going off, and I'm just in the window, and I'm just crying. And crying, and I'm just looking at them, and I don't remember exactly everything that she was saying, because she was saying so much. She was so pissed, and I will never forget the way he looked up at me and the smile he gave me, and he said, "Watch this," and he took off down the street. As soon as he took off down the street, the police were hitting the corner and they were flying behind him. So she's yelling up, asking, where did he take you? Where did he take you? You know, and, you know, just mad. Yeah. And so I'm not saying anything because I can't talk. Yeah. And so she steady asking, and I just yelled down to her and told her, like, you know, he raped me. And she said, what? And she lost her shit.
It's okay.
My brother heard us, so he was like 9, 10, 8, 9. He's somewhere in there. He went flying out the house in his underwear. So my mother had to chase him to bring him back in the house, and I just stayed there in the mirror. And then I don't remember what happened. Next thing I remember is the EMS, being in the EMS, and the whole street like being crowded and everybody crowding around.
You didn't see what was going on.
We grew up down there. So everybody know my cousins. Like, my cousins, them were my protectors. Like, didn't nobody fuck with me. Everybody knew who they were. So they knew me because they know anything happened to her or you fuck with her, I'm beating your ass.
Yeah, immediate.
Right. So, you know, when they seen who I was, everybody's asking, you know, like, well, what happened? They're trying to figure out what happened. And so I'm just in the back of the thing, just I see people faces, but I don't see people faces.
You done completely just.
Yeah. And so the police brought him back around when they called him, because they called him at the mayor house. He was flinched with the mayor. He was at the mayor house banging on their door.
Oh, trying to.
So they brought him back, and when they brought him back, my mom told them what happened. And when she told them what happened, everybody on the block heard. So everybody on the block was trying to rip the doors off of that police car to get him out.
They should have, hell.
Everybody was trying to get him out that car. I remember going to the hospital. I remember just the lights, people talking to me, and then that fucking kid, I'm taking my clothes. Like, it's like everything else is in like pieces. You know how in the movie when they rolling somebody into the ER and you see the lights, how the lights be going, that's literally how it was. That's literally how it was for me. That's how I remember it. That's all I remember. And so it's like bits and pieces of stuff. I lost count of how many breakdowns I had. I went to counseling. I wouldn't talk. I usually would be under the table or something like that. I wouldn't really talk to them. When I finally went back to school, I would they would find me under the stairs at school, crying in a ball. They had to call my mother to come pick me up from school. My mother has had to come and hold me because I would just sit in the ball and rock and scrub my face because I always felt dirty. I always felt dirty. I could never get clean. No matter what I did, I could not get clean. I could not feel clean. Like, I felt dirty. I felt like I did something wrong. Everything was my fault. It didn't matter how many times people said, oh, but you didn't. I did something wrong because why would my daddy do that to me? Like,
yeah.
Like, you know, why would you do that to me? Like, so the hardest thing for me was just trying to understand, like, this is the person who helped create me, who helped bring me in this world. If he can do this to me, who's to say that won't nobody else do that to me? Like, they don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't trust anybody. Only people that I had was my boy cousins. They was my protectors, and my granddad and my uncle. Those were my protectors. One by one, they kept going to jail and going to jail. So it was like I didn't feel safe. It's like I don't have nobody, you know what I'm saying? I don't have nobody here to protect me. Like, everybody that's supposed to protect me is leaving me. Everybody that I need for me, like, they're not here. And I never felt safe. And it's not to say that my mom didn't do everything in her power to make sure that I felt safe. It's just, I could not get past the fact that it was my father. It wasn't a man off the street. It wasn't a stranger. It was somebody who was supposed to protect me. Who's supposed to get the people that do shit like that. That's right. He was the one who did it. And, oh, my cousins, they went on a fucking rampage. They went to my grandmother's house. They destroyed her house. They were trying to fight my uncle. Like, they went. Gracious. Yeah, they went crazy.
Did they end up locking your dad up?
He went to jail. He went to jail that night.
Was he convicted?
And so I had to deal with my father's side of the family completely disowning me. Nobody believed me. Everyone said that I was lying. Why the fuck would I make up a lie like that?
Yeah. You were what, 13? No, you 13.
I was 12.
12 at the time?
Why would I make up a lie like that? For what?
And back in those days, that was not, I'm not saying, but people falsely accuse people all the time. Mm-hmm. But back in those days, it was hush tones when it came to rape. That's not something you would just...
Exactly.
Oh, guess who did,
all willy-nilly. Like, no. Like, why the fuck would I lie about that?
Yeah.
Like, no. Like, who lies about something like that? Like, and you see me. Where the fuck is the lie?
Exactly.
And then it was issues with my other siblings because he had a lot of kids. He has a lot of kids. I don't even know all of I don't even know all of my siblings. But they didn't really believe me either. I didn't know that at the time. I found that out years later. That they didn't. But it too. Right. It messed with me tremendously mentally. Yeah. I was always locked in my room. When I got out of school, I went straight to my room and locked my door. It was so bad that the lock that was on my door was a two-way lock. So it was a key to get in and a key to get out.
Oh yeah, no, you didn't trust nobody.
Yeah, and I stayed in my room all day long, all day. Like my mother wanted me to do. I didn't want to do anything. Yeah. In my room.
That was your only safe place.
Yeah, and so I think when I was like 13, she finally got me into like softball. I remember that. I don't remember the time in between. It's like bits and pieces. I remember getting in a softball, and then I don't know, like I blocked out like just so much. But then it's like I wasn't a person that believed he's gonna kill us, so I can't. No, I'm telling. And every time it bothered me, I needed to talk about it. Mm-hmm. But people were so tired of hearing about it, but I could not understand it. Yeah. So I don't understand. So yes, I'm going to keep talking about it. I don't understand. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Mm-hmm. I don't understand. I'm not understanding. Mm-hmm. So it got to a point to where a lot of people just was like this. They became distant. Like pretty much didn't want to hear about it anymore. Yeah. And I do think that it was a point in my life where it was, I would want to talk about it just for the attention, because it was a hole. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know how to fill that hole. Only thing that even kind of soothed it a little bit was to get love and attention. Yeah. That I had to keep throwing that in that hole because it was missing. Like I'm missing a huge ass chunk of my life. Mm-hmm. So I need to fill it. So I'm trying to find shit to throw in that hole. Mm-hmm. I would do poetry. I had so much poetry. would sit in front of the speaker and sing, and just like those were my therapies. And they helped for the moment, and they helped soothe for the moment, but nothing was filling that hole. Nothing was filling that hole. It got to a point to where I just kind of put like took a 2x4 and put over it.
And we're just like, we gonna make it work.
We just gonna put a little 2x4 over it. So when I thought that, okay, well, you know, I'm in a good spot. I mean, I'm in a good place or whatever. I wasn't. I would learn that I wasn't, and I would have breakdowns, and my then boyfriend that turned into my husband would try to console me, and he wouldn't know what to do. So then he got to call my mama, because she's the only one.
No.
Right. She's the only one that can get me out of that. And it just went on, and then it got to a point to where I didn't know how to trust anybody. I didn't know how to think positive because I didn't trust nobody. So nothing was going through my head but negative shit. Everybody I seen, they out to get me. I see you seeing me. See you see me.
I see you see
right.
me, see me see you.
Like but no, like I didn't trust anybody. So I had a very, 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 very negative and very toxic mindset. And I can admit that now. I really did. And I did try. I would move that little 2x4 and try to fill that hole again, and it wasn't working. And I do think that trauma and not fully dealing with it properly, the way that I needed to, the way that I am and have been now, it affected my parenting a lot. So I definitely understand what you mean when you said that you don't want to have kids at the moment because you don't want it to affect them, because it did affect my parenting. And I do think that it affected my children because I was so overprotective and so distrusting of this world that I sheltered them. You go where? I don't know their mama. I don't know their daddy. They got a daddy? Who all live in their house? You can't go there. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't. Like I smothered them. And I feel bad that I did it, but that was my way of protecting them. That's the only way I knew to protect them, because I know what's still inside of me. I know that rage that's still there. Yeah. I know how I felt when it happened to me. And I know in my mind that if it ever happened to one of my children, how I'm going to react.
You going straight to hell.
I'm going straight to hell.
I already know.
With gasoline draws, triple drenched.
So I'm like, can I get the elevator to hell, please?
With that person, and still in my hand, still stabbing, still beating. We burn it together, motherfucker. We burn it together. We dying together. Like I don't want that for them. I don't want them to ever know the pain that I know. So I was always big on making sure that their dad was in their life. I never tried to keep him from them, ever. It didn't matter what we went through. I would never try to keep them from them because I know how it is to grow up without a dad. That's why with David, it hurts me so much that he doesn't know that.
You know, he doesn't want to be an active participant, right?
No. So yeah, I mean, it affected relationships.
Just. I'm pretty sure it affected everything. Self-esteem.
It affected definitely my self-esteem. I never felt like I was good enough. I always was second guessing myself.
And unfortunately, a lot of rape also includes a lot of hypersexuality.
It does.
I know a few people that's went through it, and I used to think they were just crazy as hell. I'm like, why is you 16 trying to jump on something, essentially? But it's because they've, at pretty much your age, experienced either some type of molestation or the full rape.
and I would talk to, when I did go to counseling and did go to groups, I would hear women say how, it went on for this amount of time, and I went through, and I would never understand that.
Like how they would allow
yeah,
it
like
to happen?
because I know how I felt with just not allow it to happen, because
no, I mean not allow,
but continue, yeah.
Not to speak
and
up.
So I was always the one like, hey, like I know it's hard, I know you scared, but baby, you got to say something.
Yeah.
You got to say something. I was always that type. I always wanted to help, but I end up having to learn that you can't help everybody, and you can't help people who don't want to be helped.
That's true.
Like I can't kill myself trying to get you
to understand.
Right, get you to tell somebody. Yeah. I mean, I could do it for you, but then you ain't gonna do nothing but resent me.
Exactly.
And now I'm the bad guy for trying to help you.
Exactly. And the 9 times out of 10, they still gotta come from their mouth. We can say all day long, oh, I know for a fact she done told me. But if they go to them and they say that this happened, and they be like, no, everything good. I don't know what she talking about.
She lying.
Yeah.
She lying. I didn't say that. I didn't say her that. I mean, so it and then even when I thought I dealt with it, I still didn't deal with it. I had to literally sit and not only talk about that, and I didn't talk about it to anybody. This was just me, like, in prayer, like, because it was just so heavy, like, and I just couldn't do it no more. And just so happened, I was in jail at this time.
Oh, God. Well, hey, we all go through something at the end of the day, huh?
That's a whole nother story. But, and I just sat there and I'm like, okay, because this is not it, because we're out of control. Yeah. We're drinking way too much. We're like not remembering what we're doing. Like this is just out of much. Yeah. It's out of control. Mm-hmm. Like it's too much. Way too much. And so I had to sit there and literally deal with my feelings and give every single thing that I did that people know about and that people don't know about, and talk to God about it. Mm-hmm. I mean, everything. I mean, I was in my little bunk crying my tears, my eyes out, boo-hooing. Don't know how the person above me and the people around me didn't hear me, but I cried my eyes out, and I'm like, I can't keep doing this. Yeah. We can't do this. We got to do better. So I did start getting on the right track, but then again, it's like, okay, we gave it, we laid it all out there, we let it all out,
but it still hurt.
No, girl, why the hell you just go pick that shit back up? We just gave it, and you went and picked it right back up.
Cause it still hurt.
You picked it right back up.
The only thing you did was make it to where you didn't feel it, but it didn't mean that it went away.
So I had to continue to do that over and over, continue to deal with it, because I learned that me just dealing with it and finding peace for it in that moment, that's great, that's amazing, but it's not a one-time deal. It's a constant. Once you find that peace, you still got to work to keep it, because you're going to get attacked even harder and harder and harder once you find it.
I like to read in a book. I think it's called Crazy Faith. I think that's what it's called. Like I say, getting closer to God. And what you just talked about was one of their key points, to where when you're praying, they were talking about praying obviously, but they were talking about peace specifically. Mm-hmm. And it was like, it's something you have to work on every day. If you go through a trauma, if you go through honestly anything that gets you out of your peace, people think the moment you, all right, I done laid it to rest, they think that it's over with, and it's not. It'll be a Tuesday afternoon, you minding your business, you about to go get you something to eat, and you already got planned on how you're going to continue your day. Mm-hmm. And the next thing you know, you sucker punched. Yep. By whatever feeling that you just laid to rest.
Now you're sitting there crying. or you didn't flipped out on somebody.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
That
you have to
happens all the
find
time.
exactly. You got to find that. I say a niche, but you have to find that balancer, to where when those feelings do come up, you can counteract it. But finding that counteract is the issue.
And that's my thing, and that's what I'm doing with saying what I was telling you about what I wanted to do with the women and doing like the little spa, we get the robes and stuff like that, because I'm self-love, the self-care journey, that's daily.
Yeah.
You need to check in with yourself every day. I have to check in with myself every day, especially if I'm feeling irritated.
Oh,
and
I do it like once a week. We'll see how I feel.
No, I gotta do it every day.
I'm once a week.
My mood be like, I be like, hey girl, how you doing? Next meet you. What the fuck do you want? Like,
I be ready to fight.
right, like girl, like what is? Hey, ho, breathe. What is wrong with you? Are you okay? Are you okay? Take a minute, because do you need a nap?
I do.
Did you eat today?
I did.
Like I really have to sit there and check in with myself, because it took a lot for me to get here, and I'd be damned if I go back to the way that I used to feel.
That's valid.
And like I said, this has to be a series, because it's so much more to how I got to this peace part.
Yeah.
The wake up calls, the aha moment, as you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just look at things completely different now. And I try not to let things bother me the way that I used to. I'm quick to be like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. You said what? Yeah, no.
Cool.
You want to do it? No, I don't. No, I'm good. Can I have your number? No.
Oh, I'm quick with the quickness
No,
on that.
I don't. No.
But I don't have
Can
that
I talk to you? No. Oh no. No. Well, can I give you my number? You can give it to me, but I'm not gonna use it. So.
Girl, you gotta hit them with this is all
No.
my business information. If you're not contributing, you will be deleted. Like that'd be
No, like I had a dude on the podcast, actually in the Instagram podcast one.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to flirt. I said, sir, this is a business page. This is not that. Oh well, do you have another page? Yes, I do. But again, I'm not trying today. I'm not interested.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate the compliment. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. But that's it.
Yeah, he unfollowed. I don't care. My nigga, you could have been there that. I was trying to be nice to you. I would have told you to fuck off, but I just felt like that was very mean, and you were being very nice, so I didn't want to be that mean to you.
I had people with well, I mean, I'm in a relationship, but I had people when I'm in a relationship, I'm very happy, and the only thing I'm concerned about is growing my business. No, I don't need new friends. No, I don't care to have new friends. And no, I do not want to get to know you. I cover all bases at once. And no, I do not want to get to know you. If you want to talk to me about business, we can talk about business. But if you don't have anything to offer that's not business, then we have nothing to talk about. And normally, 10 out of 10, I recommend they get the fuck out my inbox. Expeditiously.
Yeah.
There's normally not even the like button. It's just no response. And I'm like, all I see is seen, and I know.
Yeah.
We've made it.
Yeah. Then I look at my followers, and my followers have decreased. That's cool.
I don't even look at my followers because I don't give a damn. As far as I'm concerned, it'll be alright.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot.
So you have more like that. You feel like that defined your. Not saying you didn't go through more, but you feel like that was a defining moment. That for your childhood trauma.
That not only was a defining moment, that is completely what created the person that I became.
Gotcha.
Everything up until then, and that completely created the person that I will fight a dude in a heartbeat. I will literally say, my mother, My mama think I'm crazy, and she probably watched it too. She think I'm crazy because I would tell her when I was little, girls would, because I was, I was pretty, y'all see all this. You see all this, I was just skinnier and I had a big head. So to me, I looked like a lollipop, but I was a cute lollipop, right? So I would fight boys because I thought that you're supposed to fight boys because you gotta protect women. That was my logic. And so I would tell my mom, that you're not supposed to fight girls. That's not what you're supposed to do. You don't fight girls. She's like, you are a girl. Oh, okay. What that mean? You don't fight girls. You fight boys. You fight boys. You don't fight girls. So I would stand there and let a girl beat me up. I ain't even gonna let it, y'all. I've let it happen several times. I was just, cause I didn't want to hurt a girl, but a nigga,
I would have beat that bitch ass.
No. So
I would have fought dirty.
I had girls bullying me, and I remember one time, this girl, well, it was a couple of them. They were trying to make me and another girl fight in the girls' bathroom, and I just stood there and let her hit me. But yeah, and then apparently I had a moment. Something happened. I don't remember what it was, and I started having an anxiety attack.
She don't remember.
I don't know. I don't remember what I was thinking at the time. But I ended up having an anxiety attack.
Really? Did you whoop ass?
Mm-hmm. I know. I just told you. I stood there and let her beat me up. So yeah. Then my mama used to get mad at me. She used to be mad at me. If you don't fight them, I'ma beat your ass. You better beat that. But why? But why I gotta fight them? But yeah, I got bullied a lot, and it was always, of course, the ugly girls. Got bullied a lot, and then it was.
Crazy. I never got bullied.
Yeah, I got bullied a lot, and then it was
actually
it was a girl and her sister actually.
Always be the fucking sister.
Mm-hmm.
My bullies got their ass sent to alternative school because a bitch don't play. Actually, it's hilarious. We'll talk about that later.
But so they bullied from middle school to high school, and then it was just, and it wasn't that I can't fight.
You just didn't fight them.
Yeah, because when we literally fought every summer. We fought because my cousin stayed getting jumped, so we fought every summer. So I have hands. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I can fight. I just didn't think that I was supposed to fight a girl. But it was one day, and like I take a lot. But when I'm there, you're not safe. So, they were walking. It was the sisters, and then it was the other one. Their friend, I was cool with. The friend was cool. It was all three of them, and they walked past me in the hallway. And I don't know if they said something. I don't know what happened, but I know I snapped, and I was standing there, and I was looking at them, and a teacher that I didn't even see was looking at me, looking at them, and I didn't see her looking at me, looking at them.
Did you get tackled?
Man, this lady, you know how short we are.
Yeah.
This lady is shorter than us. That big.
Oh, she
was that big. She seen them books drop.
She already.
And she seen that charge coming. She said, boom, 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 boom. Bitch, how are you picking me up?
She was
ready. Like 50 pounds.
She was like, you ain't going nowhere,
and so
girl.
She caught me mid-air.
Damn, you about to knock their ass
She
out.
caught me mid-air, and she like, you're not doing this. And when I tell y'all I hated this teacher with a passion. I hated this lady.
She was the one who saved you.
After that day, me and that lady was like this.
Because she knew you was crazy.
Me and that lady, she crazy. That's how we became like this.
She was crazy.
But she called me mid-air, and cause she had to fly past them to grab me.
You. Oh, she was
so
gone.
They turned around, and all they see is her holding me in my face, and they
left it alone. They
ain't fuck with me no more after that.
Yeah, cause they know. I think it's hysterical. Cause I can definitely say I had a lot of. When I say I was bullied, I don't mean in the aspect of a traditional bully. Like, bitches talk, but they didn't say nothing in my face. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course
I ain't
not.
never had to deal with that. But I remember I used to get into it with with girls. And I would never understand because I do not poke people. I don't attack people. I'm not the one. Like, you genuinely have to come for me in order for me to say something to you. Like, I'm just not the one. And I remember one distinct situation.
But no, when she started laughing, you may want to get away from her.
That might be the issue. But I remember one distinct issue we was in changing. Now, I was talked about being fat when I was younger. I was 140 pounds. I had hips, ass, boobs. Nothing about me was fat. If I pull up these pictures, you'd be like, you was itty bitty. I know. But, you know.
Let them tell it.
Let them tell it I was the fattest thing on the planet Earth. So a lot of girls would constantly come for me saying I was fat. Looking back, I'm like, I should have beat all their asses.
All over.
And I really do mean I really should have beat their asses. But this little girl, and I say little because she was petite. She was just small. Same age though. We're changing, and for whatever reason, she has some problem with me. I couldn't even tell you the problem, but she has some random ass problem with me, and she just popping her lips. I was like, bitch, if you got something to say, just fucking say it to my face. Like, there's nothing but fucking space and opportunity.
Right.
And
What you want to do.
And I'm still putting my clothes on, and you still popping your jaws. So she come over there and running her jaws. Bitch, do something. I'm right here. Like, there was this much space between us. Do something. Do something. No, bitch, you hit me. I'm not going to fucking touch
I
you.
hated that.
But the moment you raise your hand, I'm putting your face in these lockers.
No.
So by all means, you do what you feel necessary, and I'm going to do what I feel necessary. You the one talking shit, so go ahead and jump. There's literally no one stopping us. Everybody, and the thing is, everybody was on her side. I didn't have nobody that was like, Jessica, no. Don't do it.
Right.
Stop.
No.
I'm in there low-key kind of by myself just because my friends wasn't in there. It wasn't because I didn't have any. My friends just wasn't there. And she's got her little gang of girls hyping her up. Yeah, girl, do it. Do it. Yeah, girl, do it.
Please.
By all means. Let's end this day.
I'm ready to be suspended.
I'm like, let's do this because I promise you're gonna leave way worse than I am. So by all means, please raise your fucking hand. Like, at this point, stop talking. Do it. Like, I literally was like, just do it. And I just stood there. We looking at each other. I'm looking at her. She looking at me. I'm looking at her. We're looking at each other. Like, do it. I ain't got time for this. I bet. All right, exactly. I'm going to my class now. Like, fuck you, bitch. I'm going.
Right. Exactly.
But the whole time, she's still popping her jaws, her friends. You should have beat her ass. She should have beat her ass. I'm steadily walking. I done put my backpack on because I'm done with the conversation. And I'm walking the fuck out. I was like, if you didn't do nothing now, you ain't got shit to say anymore. Right. So either fucking nut up and do something, or leave me the fuck alone.
Pick one.
I don't have time for this. I'm going to my next motherfucking class. Like, you got beef with me, and I don't even fucking care about you.
Right.
And I don't know if maybe in that moment, when I was just looking at her like, bitch, I got time, or if I was looking at her and I specifically said, I'm going to ram your fucking head into this locker.
You know, your thoughts became verbal or not.
I don't know if she realized it, because it wasn't like I'm yelling and screaming. I'm going to ram your head into this fucking locker, and I hope the ambulance has to be called. Like, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to try to murder you. I don't know if that was a sticking point, and it was in middle school. I don't know if that was a sticking point, but bitches just didn't fuck with me after that.
I did that. That happened with me and one of my friends. I'm not gonna say her name, but she knows who she is. But she called me crazy ever since then. And I want to say that she called me because I cannot stand being called a bitch, and the reason for that is literally from what I just told you guys. I can't stand being called a bitch. If we friends, I don't play that. Bitch, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because I'm ready to pop you in the mouth. Don't do that. So I believe that's what she called me. And Snap. Next thing I know, my hand on her and she up against the locker.
And be the little things. It ain't got to go crazy.
We didn't fight, but I don't like that word.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean we still cool to this day, but she'll call me crazy. I mean she crazy, so
she understand.
You know, crazy like crazy. Yeah.
Oh, but you know what? I think about it now. I think the reason why no one really fucked with me was because I used to be friends with all the guys, and
Same.
I'd be tussling with the boys because I grew up with boys.
Same.
So when you sit here and we sit here hauling off, punching each other in the shoulders and shit, and I'm laughing,
right?
I'm like, don't do that. I'm like, all right, square up, bruh.
Right.
I think to a certain degree you realize I just probably shouldn't be the one.
That's always with all my cousins. They all fought me. Like, leave me alone. I would be sitting on the couch and my cousin would come and just hit me in my knees. Boom, boom. Why?
Now you guys see.
Why?
Since I had an older brother, I don't know what it is about older brothers and their friends, but they all feel like they have to fight the little sister. So I tussled with all of my brother's friends, just simply due to the fact of, and I don't know, cause like I said, I don't, cause looking back on pictures, I was fine. I ain't gonna say. I mean, I'm not saying I'm fine now, but like looking back, I could see why boys would be like, I want to tussle with Jessica.
Right.
It wasn't because they wanted to test my strength. They was trying to feel something.
Exactly.
But I can see why I was always tussling with them to a certain degree. But I remember I would go toe to toe with guys. I'd be holding their ass down, they'd be holding me down. My brother was a wrestler, so I was considered the little sister. So they would teach me moves to get out of something. So if someone came up and I can't do it now, obviously, but if someone came up to me and did like this, I knew exactly what to do to break out of that and fucking chuck off.
My cousins would beat me up. They would what they always tell me, you not gonna be no bitch. We ain't raped or no sucker or something like that. Along the lines of me not being the girl that I clearly am. Like, I'm a girl. What do you mean? Like, and they would hit me and hit me and hit me until I fought their ass back and they calling my mama. Auntie, no, don't call her now. And that's exactly what mom, don't call me now. I should have left her alone. Leave her alone.
See, I'm gonna put my daughter, whenever I have one, I'm gonna put my daughter, and if I have a son, I'm gonna put my daughter and son in some martial art class.
That's when David about to go in.
Because it's not because I want them to get experience in life when it comes to because there's a lot of mental aspects that is good for you when you do martial arts. Mm-hmm. I want to be able to beat a bitch ass if necessary. Like, I want you to take out their knees. Like, I want them not to be able to walk straight when you get done with them. And when I come pick you up,
you better not have said you lost.
No, you can lose. You can lose. You want to know why you can lose? Because that means
you gotta learn.
You gotta learn. So next time you know what to do. But when I come pick you up and they say, well, she's been suspended for 3 days, I'd be like, well, first off, I'm gonna teach them the same thing. You don't fight nobody unless provoked. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you have to, not because they called you out your name.
They got to put their hands on you.
They got to put their hands on you or make the movement that they are. If they do this, as far as I'm concerned, it's a go. But if they just talking shit, let them talk, walk away. At the end of the day, I understand everybody snap. And if you had that moment, you had that moment. That's mistake. If someone just all of a sudden just calling you out your name, you felt the need to hit them, then I'm going to feel the need to hit you. Because you don't do that.
Right. That's not what we doing.
But I'm going to teach you to fucking defend yourself. You need to knock a bitch out, knock a bitch out. And honestly, I don't care if it's a man, woman, child, infant. I mean what I say. I fight kids. Like, if you guys to do what you got to do, that's fine. And I'm going to pick you up. I'll be like, who hit who? Oh, they hit him. Are they hitting her? Cool. We about to go celebrate. Right. She taking a vacation. We gonna have a good time.
Get ice cream.
We gonna get ice cream. Because she did exactly what I told her to do.
Right.
So, I mean, I know that's the person what I'm doing. Well, how did we get to this? I don't know. But anyways.
I don't remember.
But
we're here.
We're here now. But I will say, we do need to probably wrap it up. We're at an hour and 30.
Yeah, because I'm not going to be able to, all of this ain't going to be able to go on the what's it called, the Spotify.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and wrap it up. I don't know if next week we'll be talking about childhood trauma. We may have to break that up in segments. Because I don't think I can go through another traumatic situation of talking about my Trump.
We
Yeah, that part. I don't think I go through another traumatic situation of talking about my childhood trauma right now. So, but what I will say is we will think of something. We already have categories, but we'll be on next Tuesday. I plan on being here because she's gonna call me and I'm be like, oh yeah, I'm on my way.
7:30.
7:30. We need to make that official time.
Yeah.
7:30.
7:30, because this 7 o'clock ain't been working.
You know, so
clearly.
7:30, and then if we can do better, then we'll bump it up to 7. And we'll try to stay under an hour.
Yeah.
I think that's a good one. Stay under an hour.
Yeah, because people, start to fade.
I mean, I really don't care about that part, but I just think for timing schedule to be more consistent. I think 7:30 and by 8:30. I think that's a good one. So if we if we don't finish, then we can just continue it to the next segment.
Be continued.
Yeah. So that give us 30 minutes each to kind of talk.
Okay.
Or come together.
I'm
just to kind of give us a little.
Yeah.
But anywho's, I thoroughly enjoyed tonight. I do appreciate everybody who joined. I saw that we had a few viewers that were kind of coming and going. So I definitely appreciate everybody that came on today. What music should we leave with?
I don't even know. I would say Naked to close it out, but I don't know. Whatever touches your soul, ma'am.
We're going to do Jesus
Thank
and
y'all.
Love.
No.
I've already started it.
Thank y'all for coming. And we're going out. Lord have mercy.
We done had a traumatic time talking about this. I'm going to talk about some Jesus. Hold up. You got to hit that one.
Something wrong with them.
But thank you so much for joining.
Thank y'all for coming. We'll see y'all next week.
We love y'all.
Appreciate you.
And the more we build, hopefully we can start being more proactive with our viewers.
Yeah, I'm going to work on getting a form going to have like a little discussion board so people can chime in with their thoughts, opinions, and things like that.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Y'all got to play the Commodores. If y'all know what the Commodores is, you're too young and you need to find out. Jesus. You gotta turn off and keep going.
Not you hitting the note.
He won't let you down.